Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because stories like this are not just about fame, they are about the hidden lives behind the faces we think we know. What you are about to hear is not comedy, not exaggeration, but a deeply human journey that lived quietly behind one of the most famous characters ever created. There comes a moment in every legend's life when the mask finally slips, when the laughter fades, and the truth long buried begins to surface. For Rowan Atkinson, the man the world lovingly knows as Mr. Bean, that moment arrived not with applause, but with reflection. At 70, he is no longer hiding behind silence. He is finally speaking about the pain, fear, and endurance that shaped his life. Long before the world laughed at Mr. Bean, Rowan was just a quiet boy growing up in Consett, County Durham. Born into a hardworking family, he was surrounded by simplicity, routine, and unspoken grief. The death of his older brother Paul left a shadow that never fully lifted. Even as a child, Rowan sensed sadness without understanding its source. That early loss shaped the emotional climate of his home. His parents loved deeply but carried their own burdens. In a house full of boys, strength was valued more than sensitivity. Rowan learned early that silence was easier than expression. He became observant, withdrawn, and deeply internal. At the age of 5, another challenge emerged that would define his life. A severe stutter began to control his voice, turning simple words into exhausting struggles. Speaking became a source of fear rather than connection. Every sentence felt like a test he was destined to fail. School offered no refuge. Classrooms became stages of embarrassment where classmates mocked his speech and expressions. His unusual pauses and facial movements made him an easy target. Some children even called him strange or alien. Each insult pushed him deeper into himself. By 11, Rowan understood that silence could protect him. He watched conversations instead of joining them. He learned people's rhythms, expressions, and reactions from the outside. Without realizing it, he was studying human behavior in the quietest way possible. One teacher noticed his expressive face but never imagined its future power. To them, he was just a shy boy with potential hidden behind hesitation. Rowan, however, felt invisible. His voice failed him, but his mind remained vivid and alive. At 13, something unexpected happened. During a class performance, Rowan discovered that when he spoke as someone else, his stutter disappeared. The transformation was instant and shocking. On stage, his voice flowed freely, untouched by fear. That moment changed everything. Acting became his escape and his shield. Characters allowed him to speak without judgment. The very weakness that silenced him in life gave him freedom in performance. It was the beginning of a lifelong contradiction. As he grew older, Rowan excelled academically. He was disciplined, intelligent, and methodical. Engineering became his path, not because it was his passion, but because it felt safe. Numbers never mocked him. Machines never judged his voice. He earned top grades and entered Newcastle University, later completing a master's degree at Oxford. From the outside, his future looked secure and impressive. Inside, however, he felt disconnected from the life being planned for him. While studying at Oxford, he wandered into a drama rehearsal almost by accident. Watching actors perform awakened something dormant inside him. When he joined them, the old miracle returned. His voice obeyed him on stage. Yet the relief was temporary. The moment he stepped off stage, the stutter returned stronger than before. Acting freed him, but reality imprisoned him again. The contrast was emotionally exhausting. Early auditions were brutal. Casting directors saw him as awkward and unmarketable. His stutter sabotaged interviews. Rejection followed rejection, each one deepening his self-doubt. There were moments he nearly quit entirely. Loneliness and humiliation weighed heavily on him. Then one encounter changed his path forever. Writer Richard Curtis saw something extraordinary in him. That recognition gave Rowan hope. It wasn't pity or tolerance, but genuine belief. For the first time, someone saw his silence as strength. That belief carried him forward. His first major break came with Not the 9 o'clock news. Initial reactions were harsh and dismissive. Critics didn't understand the show. Viewership was low. Behind the scenes, however, support from one executive saved everything. The show continued, and Rowan's talent began to shine. His physical comedy stood out powerfully. Success arrived suddenly, but it came with pressure. Long hours and creative exhaustion took their toll. Rowan's anxiety returned, and his stutter worsened under stress. When the show ended, Rowan moved on to Blackadder. The first season nearly broke him. Production chaos and criticism fed his insecurities. Later seasons transformed the show into a masterpiece. Surrounded by supportive collaborators, Rowan finally felt less alone. The controlled dialogue suited his speech perfectly. Even then, he was managing his limitations carefully. Every success was calculated. Every performance was emotionally guarded. Then came Mr. Bean, a nearly silent character born from isolation and observation. The world embraced him instantly. Global fame followed, but so did exhaustion. The physical demands were intense. The silence required constant precision. Behind the laughter was fatigue and loneliness. Rowan often felt drained beyond repair. Fame followed him everywhere. Movies brought more pressure. Expectations grew heavier. The character consumed him slowly. By his 50s, Mr. Bean was taking more than he could give. Recovery from scenes took days. The joy faded. Public controversies added strain. Personal relationships became headlines. Rowan chose silence again. At 70, reflection replaced performance. He finally admitted the truth. Mr. Bean was painful, not easy. He spoke about fear, doubt, and survival, about being human behind the laughter. Rowan Atkinson gave the world joy while carrying invisible weight. His silence was never empty. It was full of courage. That is why Mr. Bean endures. Because he was born from pain, shaped by endurance and carried with quiet bravery.